Thank you for being here. Today we're going to do a collective energy reading, looking at the energies that are going on around us. We have the Magician, the Sun, and the Emperor in reverse. And I try not to have too many rules working against me. I don't normally read reversals, but I feel like that was pretty clear. So you're manifesting what it is that you truly desire, what it is that you truly want, and the happiness that you want. But what's happening is that the Emperor is coming in in reverse. So the Emperor is coming back. So this is the Eight of Cups. So we have the Magician, the Sun, the Emperor in reverse, and the Eight of Cups in reverse. And so you are manifesting into your life great happiness. And the situation right now is that there is an Emperor who is not embodying his Emperor energy. And when we look at the Eight of Cups, it's usually someone walking away. And in this case, there's a very dark mountain on the card and it's in reverse. So we're looking at the cups that were spilled being towards the top. And so the Emperor is coming in and he's trying to bury all of the darkness that is happening all around him. And the Sun in this reverse card is buried as well. And the Emperor is coming back with all of this darkness still within him, trying to show you only his cups. Okay. And so they want you to know that this Emperor who is returning is trying to show you that they have turned over a new leaf, that they are now embracing and accepting of your spiritual mission, and that they are now in a greater state of balance and alignment. And so when we look at that, we can see that despite what it is that they were actually trying to show you, that they have a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, but they're trying to balance that out, and they're trying to balance that out with you. All right, they want new cards. Okay. Oh my gosh. And so what it is they're trying to get out the words that that they're sorry, but it's that they have, the reason that the words weren't coming out is they went round and round and round, showing you that they weren't the one for you. Those are perfect cards. All right. And so that's why you see the Emperor in reverse now. Okay. And so what else do we need to know about this situation, this Emperor, and how it is that they're coming into your life? Okay, we're going to do the big version of this, since the little version is a little hard to see. So they want you to know that there's definitely an Emperor who's coming in to speak to you. It's just that he's not really in his Emperor energy. And there definitely is a lot of things that we can see in that Eight of Cups card that he has healed towards the cups at the top. He's feeling his love for you really coming to the surface, but there's still so many dark things there that he needs to work through his own ascension process. And when we look at the Nine of Wands there, we can see that there is quite a few things that need to be healed, because of all of the things that he was doing in the past. And the Five of Swords is he did. He did do a lot of things. He did hurt a lot of people. He definitely hurt you. But the reality is that you chose to walk away. You chose to leave that situation and let it go. And he chose to try and be triumphant over others when you weren't around. And so what they want you to know is that this Five of Swords energy is showing you that even though you weren't around, he was still acting in the same sorts of narcissistic is the word they were giving me. It's just not my favorite word. Behavior, right? Of backstabbing and lying and betrayal and not being in a state of truth within yourself. And so he was definitely doing that to others, and they just needed to show clearly as this Emperor returns and appears to be in a much better energy. He is recognizing now the love that you gave him was unconditional. The way that he felt about you was very unique, and that he really cherished your connection. And he couldn't believe that at the end of the day, no matter what he did or who he did it with, if you were really that connected, that you didn't come in and try to stop him from moving forward to being the version of his best self with someone else. And so he knew that you were watching him, and he assumed that you were watching him in the 3D and how he was trying to show you these things, when in reality you were doing no such thing and having none of it, truly. So as we get different cards, okay. And so as we look at what's going on, they want you to know that he's trying to come in and he's trying to show you a different color. He's trying to show you that the healing work that you've been doing on yourself has helped him to show who he truly is, and that is a more balanced person. But he repeatedly had shown you before this that you were not really the one that he was going to be with, because of all of the backstabbing and the things that he did to you, the lies, the betrayal, the cheating. And so what they want you to know about this card, the Goddess of Light, is we are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. And so what had been happening is the trauma that was in you was definitely being reflected back to you in them and their behavior. But what you chose to do and how you chose to reflect those energies were much different than what they chose to do. And what they chose to do was more in alignment with darkness and lies and deceit. And what you tried to do was to be honest about your feelings and how you felt about them and what you truly wanted. And what you did here is to transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity of love. And the reality is that their response to that was that they felt their suffering. And so here the card says, I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. And so what was happening is you were triggering all of their wounds. And I'm getting that you both had a lot of healing to do, but in this case, his particular wounds were much deeper, much stronger, and really the essence of human suffering that he was working through. And so when he saw those things in you, he was reflecting those things back. And this should have been a divine union. And you recognize that within him. But instead, you chose to be honest, to be open, and to truly say, I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am. Here are my things. Here's what I have done. Here's my life. Here's the key to my car. Here's the key to my house. Here's my heart. And the response, okay, they want new cards. Okay, the response to that he gave you was very triggering, because here you were bearing your soul, showing everything that you were, and loving him the best that you could, and ultimately receiving in return the evidence of betrayal. And so here they're saying all that glitters. So he was saying things like, I love you and I want to be with you. And yet on top of that pile is masks. Someone who is pretending something that they never really followed through on. And so that once you realize that all of the things were essentially broken promises, you were done with that. And so they want different cards again? No, these cards. Okay. So the end of the day, what you were saying is, I want love, I want commitment, I want to be honored and cherished and respected and supported. And that's what I want in my life. And he's now thinking back on all the things that you did for him, all the things that you did when he was down on life to make sure that he was cared for and that he was all right. And now we're getting that he's going through a period of strife in his life, and he's remembering that you were always there for him no matter what. I'm getting that you were there for him financially, you were there for him emotionally, and you were there for him in ways that nobody really ever had been, without expecting something in return, because the other people that this emperor had been with had always expected something in return, and you didn't do that. And he's realizing now that the connection that you had together was blessed and divinely blessed indeed, and that things in his life really tend to work out better when you're around. But the reality is, at this point, you're not around anymore. You're not around to pick up the pieces, and you're not around to say, I love you, and you're not around to say, everything will be okay. You're not around to say, I'll make it okay. And he's really sensing the loss of you in his life. And that is why. And the question is, why is it that I chose to behave like that? Why is it that I chose to show her my colors in the way that I did? Why is it that I chose to completely shut her out of my life when I know at this point in my life, when I really need someone to support me, she would have been there. She would have been saying, why wouldn't you call me? Why wouldn't you reach out to me? You know that I am here to support you in every way. I have always been your support system, and I will do whatever I need to do to take care of you, because that's who you were to him. And he's wondering, why did I do that to the one woman who truly ever loved me? Why is it that I chose to take that path? And he's really thinking about that, that the mask that he wore really wasn't serving the relationship. And so as he moves forward, it's really right now, and the reason that you're seeing the Emperor in reverse is in between worlds. And so he's moving from where he was into truly recognizing who you were, and to really starting to let go of all of these things in the mountain, right, that were there. I'll try not to make a mess of it. Okay. And so that might have been your mentality, is you were trying to make sure that your relationship was going well, and you really felt like he was just making a mess of everything between you. And so he's really between where he has been and where he knows that he needs to go, because he recognizes now that he can't behave in the same ways that he was before and continue to grow as a person, quite frankly. Okay, now they want new cards, so I'm going to put these away. And so as we look forward, the energies that are coming forward now in the next few days really are the energies of how he's feeling right now. And how he's feeling right now towards you are that he has to make a move. He has to come forward, because he realizes that Now has to be the time. It's the time in his life that he's recognizing that he really needs a friend. And it's the time in his life that he's recognizing that you were the only friend that he ever truly had, that wasn't a friend that he thought that he was helping, honestly, or that was someone who he was essentially paying to support him, or that he was allowing to take advantage of him, and that was not naturally loving and supportive of him as a soul, as a person, as a being, as an entity in any way. And he knows that you were, he knows that you always were, and that all that you were doing was truly actually fighting for the relationship and to move things forward. And at the end of the day, once he just kept showing you his colors and they got brighter and brighter, you said, well, then it's a day. Because I can't do this. I can't go around with you. And if you can't be honest with me, if you can't be true, or if the honest thing is that what you want doesn't align with who I am, then I'm out. And so what they're saying is the reality of the situation is the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is that what happened is you were rising above what happened. You were working on yourself, you were going within, and you were truly starting to look at why things happened and what you could do to make sure that you were not continuing to have any part of what you attracted with this Emperor moving forward in your life. So that was at the bottom of the deck, and generally your subconscious energies. And so as we move forward, it's saying the Eight of Cups. So you were saying, I'm rising above this situation, and this is what is unfolding now. Because of what you did, you rose above everything, and you said, I can be a better person, I can be a bigger person, I can figure out what the root of this is, and I can fix it within myself. And what this person chooses to do is their own thing. They have their own free will, and they can do whatever it is that they choose to do. What I am going to do is walk away. And this is a completely different Eight of Cups energy. And in this one, what I'm getting is that she is sitting there wrapped in white and looking at this man going, I don't really care what you do. I don't really care if you walk away. I don't really care if you're there or not. What I am doing is recognizing the love and the energy within myself. And you can see she has a golden aura around her. And so she walked away. She protected herself from this other energy that was trying to get in from him. Right? And so whatever was going on around that, she protected herself. So you're protecting yourself and understanding that you have a great ability within yourself to choose to be protected, to choose to live in the light, essentially, and to recognize the only love that you really needed to have was the love of yourself. And to recognize that the love that you had for yourself, the love that you are now showing for yourself, right? Your self-love that you have cultivated is your own inner wisdom. And so whatever he was doing here in the background, right? And you can see there's actually 3 faces here on this man who is glowing red. That you were recognizing the love within yourself above anything that this man could do. And so because you chose to go within, because you chose to protect yourself, because you chose to love yourself, you are embodying the true Empress energy within yourself. And the energy of knowledge and the energy of understanding and the energy of true love. And this woman may be red as well. But beyond that are the elephants of white. And so you may have recognized that you had the energy of this man around you, and that that was part of who you were. But what you chose to do is protect yourself from that energy, which ultimately led to you embodying the true love of yourself and encapsulating that in your soul as who you are, and recognizing that within yourself in every way. And so the true energy of this reading really is letting you know that what you have done, and you can see of all of the energies here, the Empress is a major arcana. And if you go with the energies of tarot, it represents the major cycles and choices in our lives. So that was a major ending to an energetic cycle, because you chose to rise above what was happening to you. You chose to embody your own inner grace and your love for yourself in order to truly emerge as the divine feminine, working towards being a healed version of herself and spreading love to one another without having the energies of the negative intentions that you had from this one and others in the past. And so the result of that is the Hanging Man. And this isn't you, this is him, right? So because of all of the work that you have done within yourself, because of choosing to do all of those things and truly embodying the Empress energy, which is encouraging others and rebirth and creativity and really true love of the earth, of creation, and of yourself, the energies between the two of you are no longer congruent, is the word that I'm getting. And so these are the major arcana energies that are at play. And so he's a little bit stuck because of all the work that you've done on yourself and who it is that you've become, and because you will no longer be the one who's reaching out to someone who has clearly shown you repeatedly who it is that they are. Why would you do that? There's no need for it, right? And so the reality is then the King of Swords. And so what will be happening next is that he has to come forward, because who you are is loving yourself, and you no longer care at all what it is that he has done or what it is that has happened in the past. And so, and the King of Swords is really, King of Arrows in this card, or the King of Swords in general, is really a man who's ready to speak his truth. And so in this card, you can see there's snakes at the bottom, and then it is sort of embodying the energy of the Two of Wands, where we've got a feather with a world on top and an arrow on one end. And so he is trying to balance out all of the stuff where this was a divine connection and his wings turned red that had happened between you, by finally coming forward and telling you how it is that he truly feels. So he knows that in order to move forward, he has to choose a new way, and he has to choose to speak his truth. And he's getting these messages from above repeatedly that he will have to do that, that there will be no way that you will be reaching out to him, and that if he ever wants to speak to you or see you again, he's going to have to be the one that shows that he has also become a better person, that he is willing to be the bigger person, that he's willing to acknowledge what it is that he's done. And so we have a Six of Arrows, and the Six of Arrows, or the Six of Swords, is a little bit different that I'm getting, and these cards are very unique and wonderful, that you have still things that need to be worked out. There are still arrows that are being piercing through him. And he needs to acknowledge that the same way that you acknowledge them within yourself in order to be able to move forward. And so that is what the truth seeker of the King of Swords is being asked to do, is to truly recognize what he has done, the things within himself that still need to be healed in order to be able to move forward. And what we're getting here is that he has the ability to do this, right? He has a phone, he has a car, he has a job. These are all things that are not instability factors. There is nothing preventing him from reaching out to you at all. The only thing that is preventing him from reaching out to you is his own free will. And it is that free will and that ties to his ego that is what continues to hold him in the hanged man energy. And it will continue to be that way until he decides to let go of those parts of him and really say that he is willing to acknowledge the things that he needs to do in order to move things forward and to step into the ability to really come forward and speak his truth. And so how does that unfold after that? Knowing that that energy that he's in is being stuck for stepping into his truth, knowing that he has all these things to fix before he would be worthy of you. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles here, you can see it is actually someone who appears to be offering a rose. And so it's showing that there's a lot of people watching this, and there's a lot of people invested in this energy. And it is truly that he's trying to understand how many other people are around you at this time. How long has it been? What all is he going to have to do in order to even be able to approach you or to understand how to get into your life again? And so then it's really about what is he thinking about that? And that is the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands is that he knows that he waited too long. He knows the elements of time have escaped him. And he's really realizing that what he did was to cover his true divine partner in all of his burdens that he was carrying with him. And he recognizes now that how could you not have moved on in the amount of time that it's been? If you're not reaching out to him and it's been as long as it's been, how is it that you could still be single? How is it that you could possibly not be engaged or married or definitely with someone by now? And so he's looking at this going, how could I possibly come forward now? There's got to be at least 10 other men in her life, because that would be how he would think, right? And then we have the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands here is to choose, right? To choose how to move forward, because the Two of Wands ultimately is a choice, whether or not you choose to remain anchored in the past or if you choose to move forward. And in this case, there is a very large energy telling him he better move forward. But on the same hand, he can see in the past, what was happening is he felt like he was an emperor to his empress. And even though he wasn't behaving that way, and there were others that were intruding on the castle, now he feels like he's dragging all of these wounds and all of these things with him. And that in order to really move forward in a new path, he has to acknowledge all of these other people and all of these other things that he's been doing. And so the question is, how does that path then truly move forward? And we have the Page of Cups. And so what's unfolding literally right now is the Page of Cups energy. And the Page of Cups is someone finally coming forward with an offer. And so you can see that if you look at the path, here's the path that he had to acknowledge to get there. And here he is actually coming forward on the path to finally be able to reach out to make you an offer. And there, I thought it was funny to say the word offer, but they're saying it is actually an offer. And your thoughts and his thoughts, really, your energy is the Queen of Swords. And so at this point, you have bordered up the walls to this man, right? And so it's not a brick wall, it's simply that you understand what the past has been, and you understand who it is that you are, and you understand what it was that you were manifesting when you were with this man. And so the Queen of Swords is really, some people would say that she's cold, but it really is someone who is steadfast and is really able to speak her truth. And it doesn't mean that she needs to be a cold person. What it means is that one of the lessons that she has learned is the boundaries that she needed to have within herself. And trust me, this woman has learned those boundaries. And so the energy that he knows that you were already embodying before that is the Queen of Swords, and the energy that you are definitely able to summon within yourself is the Queen of Swords. And so when you have an offer to the Queen of Swords, the resulting energy is Temperance. So what he's expecting is the energy, as far as what I was saying, some people expect as cold, is to be met with a little bit of a cold shoulder. And the reality is that who you are is a balanced individual who's been working on identifying and recognizing your own energetic triggers and how you respond to others, and really going within to resolve the energies within yourself. And so the energies that he's met with are the energies of Temperance. And this is another major arcana that you can see we've got now directly under the Empress, right? And so you're embodying the energy of the Empress, the energy of consciousness, the energy of awakening, the energy of encouragement and creativity. And so although you definitely are absolutely willing and able to speak your truth, that you are also able to find balance and strength to be in alignment with what needs to be said and to not be triggered by what comes forward. And so what that really is the ending of a cycle. And so it will be the ending of a cycle, and this was representing your energy while this was representing his. So you were representing the Empress, he was representing the Hanged Man. Your response is Temperance. His response is the World. And these major arcana cards came out around the entire story. And so you're embodying the energies of balance. And what that does, and the World card is finality. The World card is the only card that is truly the completion. And so it is the completion of the cycles that you were going through of learning a lesson. So what he's going to understand in the cards that come next are, you were never going to be cold. You were never going to be yielding a sword toward him other than telling him the truth, right? And so what that does is it ends the cycle of the lesson that you were learning completely, ending the cycle of needing to say, I know that I loved you completely at one time, and I let you go completely now. And that is your lesson of balance within yourself and your ability to find balance within yourself. That in turn then is a new energetic cycle for him of understanding that you may still love him, you may still care for him, but that it is done. That the person that he was ruined the relationship to the point that it was destroyed and it could not be resurrected again. And you will tell him, no, I don't wish to be with you. No, I don't wish to follow you. No, I don't wish to be your friend. I just wish to be done. And that is the final cycle. That is the final card. So we can tell you the energies now and how they play out beyond that, but know that once you get the World card and the energy of the Emperor and the Empress and the energies of the balance of divine masculine and feminine energies, and it's really just the balance of all energies within yourself and how we are choosing to balance them out with the masculine and the feminine archetypes. And so how it moves forward is a journey for him, and that is the Knight of Cups. And so the journey for him and the Knight of Cups is who you always wanted him to be. And it is him coming forward with offers of love. And so he's recognizing that he can't be who he had been at all and be in your life, that is done. And so there's still all of this muck around him. And that's what you need to recognize, is that he may be coming forward still with offers of love and commitment and honor and respect, but there's still all the mud that he needs to work through, because you've been doing this for years now and really trying to understand who you are, recognizing and living with yourself. And so what happens is you become, to the response of his Knight of Cups, you become the Knight of Arrows. And the Knight of Arrows is, while he's moving forward and trying to show you love, you are continuing to show him the truth and to reflect back to him what he needs to know, what he needs to understand. And that is what he needed all along. Once you were able to understand and embody the energies of the Empress, of truth, of understanding, of awakening, then you were able to reflect back to him truth instead of what you had been reflecting back to him or what he had been seeing energetically, because at the root of everything is energy. We are all energetic souls. We are all energy reincarnating as physical human beings in order to expand our consciousness and to balance out the energies of the karma that we've made when we've been reincarnating before, and to truly embody the energies and the lessons of the love for ourselves and the love for others. And you will continuously reflect that back to him until the Devil card. And the Devil card is not evil reincarnate, but in this case, it is the energies of focusing upon the physical world, focusing upon the energies of passion, of love, of sex, of really thinking that you need a lot of money and a lot of things, right? So until he releases all of these things. And so the Seven of Swords card really is that these energies are, when you continue to strive after things that are focused, and it's not to say that abundance is bad, abundance is wonderful, but what you want is abundance of love. And when the only thing that you focus on is how can I make money, how can I have women, how can I have people that are chained to me and that are like little puppets on a string to me, right? Then the Seven of Swords energy is leaving your truth and staying in where you were. So until he shows you who he truly is again. And so he will, after showing you these energies of love again, and you just continuing to speak your truth, he will begin to show these energies that have been hidden within him again. And that is what you needed to know, and that is why you needed to learn the lesson, and why it took him so long to return, is because you needed to have the balance within yourself when he was acting like he was going to be the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is not actually the King of Cups. But he was coming forward with you with love. And as you continue to show him, the truth is that is not, I don't care what the words are that you're saying. You have to continue to show yourself as who you truly are. And so when he shows himself as rooted in the energies of the physical world, of focusing on money and women, and not being willing to stand in his truth, then we have the Chariot card. And it was in reverse, but I don't think that's important for this particular reading because they're upside down. Okay. And so the Chariot card then is forward movement. The Chariot card is triumph. And what that means is you learn the lesson by telling him what you thought when he resurfaced in your life. But the lesson that he needed to learn was forward movement. And so what it really is, and these are major arcana again, and so where we had a need to move forward, right? And a need to let go of the past and a need to choose to move forward. So the Six of Wands is a need to rise above, right? And you had that choice and you were triumphant. And you have manifested what it is that you were truly working towards, which ultimately was healing. And how he feels about that is conflict. And so we have the Five of Swords. And so what it is that you feel is, I understood what was going on energetically. I manifested this by truly wanting to have healed every aspect that this relationship had brought about in me. That the Five of Swords is showing that there was still energy between you that needed to be resolved. And that is ultimately what the Five of Swords is the need to also be triumphant over one another. And so in this particular card, it's now showing that you are the one who has taken all of the arrows and all of the energy out of yourself and are also taking them out of the others. And so you have really become the one who is triumphant and the person who was able to be triumphant over another. Only this wasn't out of spite, because you are not shooting your arrows. What you are is now holding your arrows and saying, I am removing these energies from myself, and I am allowing myself to be at a state of peace and to be at a state of ease. And so where he may have thought that you were the Queen of Swords, what you really were is removing those energies. So you were not spiteful, you were not mean, you were not jealous, you were not envious. You were simply removing all of those energies from your life, which is what you wanted, to remove the energies of the possession and the focus on the material world and the continuous need of betrayal energies coming towards you, to let that go, to truly be triumphant and manifest the energies of being triumphant within yourself. And that is ultimately the Queen of Pentacles. And so you can see we have another major arcana going here, and that because you were embodying the energies of awakening, the energies of the earth, being stable within yourself and balancing out the energies within yourself and coming into alignment with all that is, that you are ultimately embodying the Queen of Pentacles. And I don't know if I called that a major arcana. I know that it is not, but I would call it a major energy. And it is truly embodying the energies of stability, and it is remaining steadfast in your beliefs, and it is remaining with the wisdom and the healing that you have found within yourself. And how does that result for him? And it is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is, you can see there is a snake ultimately around this woman's neck. Whew. And so it is him returning and returning into your life again. And so who is he after this journey of understanding who you are and you speaking your truth and him showing you absolutely true his colors, who he was, and you continuing to show him that you're just going to remove those energies from yourself because there is nothing about that that resonates with you and who you are anymore. And we have the Judgment card. And the Judgment card here is another major arcana. And in this case, it's a review. It's a review of what you have done. And so it is his choice to understand what he had done to you and how he had shown himself to you, and to choose to rise triumphant over what it is that he had done repeatedly to himself, to you, and to others, to understand that and to choose to rise above and be triumphant as the King of Swords, or in this case, the Knight of Swords, and being willing to actually speak his truth. And so in this case, it's really about a review of what had happened, a review of finally looking at the energies that he'd been trudging around in. And then he recognizes in you that you were the Queen of Wands. And so the Queen of Wands ultimately is, oh my gosh, a woman who is finding it harder probably to speak her truth, because when he really starts to recognize within himself and truly acknowledge what it was that he had done and embody that and allow it to create a sense of compassion within himself, for others, and for you, for what it was that he felt that you now went through, because he is essentially feeling what it is that you felt, that he was showing you love and he was showing you that he wanted commitment and you were saying no. And he felt that. And so he is really feeling the energy of that at that time as things move forward. And you then are still a woman who is moving things forward, and you're recognizing who he is. You're recognizing what you originally saw in him as starting to show its potential, and you're starting to feel like the snake is still there. It is still around you, but it is no longer making you have to constantly be in your Queen of Swords energy. So after that, we see the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands then is forward movement. And so the energy that you had been embodying within yourself was saying, I understand I was supposed to have met this man. I understand he awakened me to higher aspects within myself, and it caused me to go within and to truly recognize the healing that I needed. That things truly start to move forward, and that there are things moving forward in a new light. And so I think that's the important part of the Ace of Wands, is it is things coming to a new light, so to speak. So from there, how do things move forward? And we have the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is about balancing the energies and trying to find balance between the past and the future, because you know that there was still karmic energies and lessons to be worked out for this person. And you knew that you couldn't stay and you couldn't be in a loving relationship as he was. And you're now finding, as the reading goes on, that the energies are coming into a greater state of balance. And so where you had been and where you had said, I'm sorry, I'm done, the door is closed, what you're going to find is that because you did that, because you said, I'm sorry, that door is closed. I learned my lesson. I learned that what I needed to learn from you in this life was endings. What I needed to learn from you in this life was closure. What I needed to learn from you in this life was how to have extremely strong boundaries within myself. And I'm getting that he had essentially throughout time obliterated all of the boundaries that you ever had. And so As time goes on and you recognize that he is actually starting to learn to embody these energies that you had cultivated within yourself, the energies start to burn away. And the energies that are burning away are the karma that was between you and everything that he had failed to learn with everyone else in his life. He is finally able to learn through you. And he's able to learn from you in the 3D, he's able to learn from you in the 5D, and he's able to learn from you by your example, by the example that you're living every day, and how to learn from your past mistakes and how to embody different energy within yourself despite any circumstances. And then we have the King of Wands. And so when we're talking about the balancing out of energies, we're coming into a state now of the wild card. And so the King of Wands really is a very passionate man who is now willing to move things forward on his own, meaning that you no longer had to push him away, right? You no longer had to embody those Queen of Swords energies, right? You no longer had to do that because he recognized from everything that you had done how to actually move things forward on his own and how to start to change his own appearance physically and energetically, because there are many things that he needs to change physically now, meaning that he needs to change his style. He needs to change his wardrobe. He needs to change his work. He needs to change his work, his career. He needs to change his spiritual career. He needs to change his physical career. He needs to embody his abilities within himself the same way that you have. He needs to physically not only let go of every other person in his life, but he also needs to change every single thing about himself, meaning he can never have anything else that he had ever owned in this life. He will have to completely obliterate everything that he had owned in this life. There can be nothing that he had energetically around him in this life with the karmic patterns that he was in. He must burn everything to the ground. And you knew that you had to get rid of some clothes that you had found energetically, had negative attachments to them, not even negative energy, but negative attachments. And everything in his life has a negative attachment. There is nothing in his life energetically, meaning he has to get rid of every pair of shoes, every pair of socks, every pair of underwear, every t-shirt, every t-shirt, every toothpaste, every toothbrush must be gone from his life. And when he realizes that, it's a wild card. Because that's a lot, right? To get rid of everything you've ever owned and to let go of every person that you have ever had in your life. Every single one. I'm talking any person in your family, any friend, any relative, any acquaintance, anyone you met through your job. We're not just talking about past lovers here. We are talking every single person must be obliterated from your life and every single possession. So you are standing there completely naked without a dime to your name. And then you have the wild card. And that is, I love this deck anyway, but the wild card is that anything can truly happen. That is what he needed to do. Let go of everything. Be penniless, be shirtless, and literally not a penny to his name. Not a single friend that he could call. Not a single person that he would want to call. To recognize that every single thing in his life that he had ever had and ever cultivated was toxic, and to let it go. And that is what changes the history between you. So when he can truly be moving things forward on his own, that is what changes your mind. And then we have the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups really is the blessings card. And the Ace of Cups is blessings being poured to you unto you from the heavens. And so we want you to know that this card probably in this deck doesn't symbolize that as much as some others do, but we're going to go with this card anyway. But what it is showing you is the energy of blessings coming to you. And so what we would say about this card from the energy of the Ace of Cups is that you have tamed the snakes, and that the snakes are no longer wrapping themselves around you, that you are wrapping them around yourself in order to tame them and show them the ways of balancing the energies within yourself. And that's the end of these cards and the story of these cards. Okay, so they want a different deck. And so that is really what is unfolding before you now. So let me figure out what cards we need. Okay. Okay, just making sure these are the cards I wanted. So, shuffling. The question is, what are the energies that are surrounding you now relating to this situation? Because that, where you're at now is Hanged Man moving forward into coming forward to being the Knight of Swords or the King of Swords, to really be ready to talk to you and to talk to you. So I was using words that most people say, but really being willing to talk to you again. And so the energies that are surrounding you right now are trust. And it would be the New Beginning card. And so the energies that are surrounding you right now are that you are trusting in the universe. You are trusting in the universe to truly deliver to you what it is that you've been manifesting in your life. And it wasn't this man. Okay, I don't mean to shuffle again. And so we want to talk about the energies that are swirling around this situation. Even though this is the basis of the situation, there are other energy plays at play, other masculines, other divine partners in play at your life as well, because of what you have been able to manifest within yourself. And so that's what we want to look at, is how are the other energies at play in your life and the other things regarding this situation and others. Okay. And so the energies that are at play, the energies that are out there, and the cards will confirm this, are that there are a lot of interests coming forward towards you. There's a lot of other partners that you've been manifesting because you truly let go of the person that your soul had intended for you to be with. And we have new vitality. And so it is manifesting for you a new way of life, a new way of entertaining yourself, a new way of truly bringing yourself to light. And so and now we have 0 and 1, so I kind of love that. Because you trusted in the universe, and because you were ready and willing to have a new beginning, you really are experiencing a new life. And we have take the lead. And so as this happens, you're going to find that there are other people coming into your life that are willing to play the leading role. So while this energy, and I'm sure they're having me stack these cards this way for a reason, continues to play out in the background, there is someone else coming into your life to really take the lead as the leading man in your life. And this is obviously divine masculine and divine feminine. And then we have the throat chakra. And that means that this person coming in is already able to speak, already able to speak their truth, and really able to communicate with you, and able to communicate with you in a way that you find divine and that you find refreshing, and that he also finds in you your ability to speak, your ability to communicate, really coming forward to the forefront as what he finds the most attractive thing about you. And he finds that your ability to speak, your ability to manifest what you want into your life by saying, this is what I want and I won't accept anything other than what I truly desire, to be absolutely mesmerizing. And we have the healing begins. And so as this person comes into your life, as you awaken your life in a new way, by you simply being yourself and being who it is that you have always been, by truly embodying your true self, then you begin to embody the healing with a new partner. That a new partner comes into your life to help you heal the things that were going on behind the scenes with the partner that your soul had been trying to essentially force you to be with, which is kind of what a twin flame relationship is, that your soul was guiding you towards this one because you had karma together, because you had a lot to learn together, and you had to truly embody the most amazing boundaries and strength and healing within yourself in order to manifest a change in your life and a new beginning. And so when you do that, when you start to manifest a new partner into your life, you're able to heal things that you had been trying to heal with this one, with the new partner. And you find that to be an amazingly breathtaking thing in a wonderful way. And we have control. And so the black cards in this particular deck are the major arcana cards. And so it is that the energies of the past are still there, but you're now able to release the control that you had to have over others. And you are able to step into a greater state of strength within yourself in order to bring about a greater level of change in your life. So you're able to demonstrate a greater sense of strength, a greater sense of character, in order to usher in even greater phases of your life. And so what is that? And that is just breathe. That's interesting how I said that before. And so they're just reaffirming that you really find it to be a breath of fresh air, that you are able to relinquish who it is that you had been and truly come into alignment with your true self. And that is your physical self coming into alignment with your spiritual self, with your soul, and with who you truly are. And you can see this aspect has true divine specks of light running through them, and there they are sharing the light, right? That you are aligning with your own inner light and your own inner self to truly be able to step into your divine power. And then we have the rebuild card, and that is essentially the Tower card from the traditional tarot. And so that by truly stepping into your true self, you are surrendering, and there we go, what it is that you needed to surrender. So it is the stuff that was no longer serving you is now continuing to allow to fall from your life in every way, that by aligning with your true self, by allowing these energies to come into your life in a new way, the Tower card isn't a bad card. And I like how it's symbolized here. It's rebuilding. It's allowing everything that no longer served you to fall from your life in order for change to begin, right? In order to avoid disruptive change and in order to rebuild your life. And so you are able to rebuild your inner self because you have let go of the ones that were causing turmoil in your life. And then we have observe, and this would be the Hanged Man again, but in this case we see that it is getting unstuck. And it is that you are able to truly understand and observe yourself, that you are able to see again, that you are able to sense again, and that all of your senses begin to truly come online again. That you are no longer stuck and no longer needing to let go of things in order to move forward, because you let go of everything, right? So in the Tower card, you let go of everything so you could rebuild, and so that you could no longer, this is kind of like the After Tarot, you could no longer be stuck, and instead you could be able to truly see, truly feel, and truly experience who you are as your true self. And that is what you had ultimately been working towards. We're all working towards being the version of our true self. And then we have nurture, and more major arcana cards. And the coming together is the card at the bottom of the deck, as I just picked these up, is the Empress card is essentially this card as well. So that is truly embodying the energy of rebirth, of awakening, and of your divine feminine energies. And this is truly a reading going on collectively for the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and what is playing out in those energies right now. And then we have the third eye chakra. And so, as I was saying, as you let go of everything to truly embrace your true self, as the divine feminine is letting go of everything to truly embrace who she truly is in her soul, to come into greater alignment with that, then she is no longer stuck, and she is embodying the energy of awakening. And then they show you how, and that is the third eye chakra. And that's why they wanted these cards for sure. And the third eye chakra is the awakening, the ability to see, the ability to sense, the ability to see and know the past, the present, the future, and understand all timelines, all energies within the divine collective. And so by following this journey and really taking the lead herself, she is able to open her third eye to a greater degree. And under that throat chakra then, that had already been there, right? So her throat chakra, her ability to speak her truth was always there. Then we have more major arcana energies, which is the move card. And this would be, oh my gosh, excuse me, the Chariot card. And so it is forward movement, and it is forward movement in love. And I love this card, and you can see there are two hands holding a heart above them. And this is truly showing that your heart is healed. You are no longer wounded, and you have embodied all of the energies of healing within yourself, for the divine union that you found in another allowed you to truly heal things and to have the forward movement that you wanted. Because you are talking about here the forward movement, we're talking about the divine masculine, the divine feminine, clearly here. And that by opening your third eye chakra, by beginning to clearly be able to see now, you're able to move things forward. And when we talk about move things forward, we have a 6 and a 7 here. The 8 is already out. It is moving things forward for the collective. And we have seek. And so this would be the energy of the Hermit card, or needing to reflect on what has happened to move things forward in your life. And so by beginning to see, by beginning to open your third eye more, then, oh, so they were showing the 8 is already out there. So we have the 9 now. And these are all major arcana cards. All the ones that you see are that are black in this deck are major arcana cards. So we have a lot of those here. So what's happening, even though the energy of the divine masculine and divine feminine are here below, you can see as things move forward that by seeing the energies clearly, that we're able to have forward movement and true understanding and actually, I would say, positive directions that are going to be felt and sensed in a greater way in the coming few years. So this is all happening over the course, I would say, of the next Earth cycle. So over the course of the coming year. So over the course of the coming year, these energies are going to manifest more and more as you continue to be able to spread your wings and to be able to truly spread your wings and to awaken to greater consciousness levels and to be able to truly feel confident speaking your truth, to be able to feel confident telling others what you see and guiding others and really stepping into the energies of the true divine feminine, being led by definitely a divine masculine, just not the original one that was intended. So how does that go? And it is the master. Oh my gosh, I love it. So as you let go of everything, and you can see here, we have a lot of major arcana from these cards. As you allow yourself to be in alignment with your true self, to release what no longer serves you, to get unstuck, to truly step into greater awakening, your third eye is allowing you to help move things forward, to be able to truly step into your true divine energies. And in this case, we're not going to choose to read this as the traditional tarot card energy. I'm just going to leave that alone for those of you that know what it is. But you're truly stepping into the master. And what you could look at this as, when we talk about it as the collective energies, is moving things forward. And we were saying for the collective. So moving things forward to really embody who you are, for the collective to let go of their connection to earthly possessions, to earthly pleasures, and to truly be able to instead reach for that level of enlightenment. So to spread your wings, to feel more confident, guiding those who were trying to restrict the energies of their heart chakra, to restrict the energies of love, that you're able to help them move out of that because you're able to be in your true power. And we have the crown chakra. And so I love this, how these energies are playing out. And so the crown chakra card is how you are able to receive energies, and is truly, I would say, in this particular reading, your connection to the divine, your connection to the energies of source, and your ability to lead the collective through what it is that they need to know and what it is that they need to heal now. And so okay, I was like, are these cards done? We now have a whole row. So the energies as they continue to play out then are continuing to lead you down that road. And so we have the energy of release, right? The death and renewal card, the letting go of everything. So the energies are significant endings that will be happening because you are able to master yourself. And again, that's another major arcana card. And I think you saw me shuffle these. It's just major arcana, major arcana, major arcana, with a little bit of a story in between. So as you're able to truly embody, as the divine feminine is able to step into her true self and the energies of that, what we will see is significant endings happening throughout the collective. And when we say collective, we would include Gaia and Mother Earth in that as well, meaning that there will be changes within the Earth herself, and there will be changes within the people that are here and the things that are happening here as well. And there will start to be a divine movement that is happening within the collective for those that are able to follow in the footsteps. So what this is an energy reading. What this is an energy reading of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, what had been happening with the divine masculine. And I think that it's important to recognize that we did say the wounds of the divine masculine were very deep. And it was by the divine feminine energy rising above that she was able to find a new partner to help her heal her wounds in her heart, step into her true self, and to help the collective now, is what this reading is showing, to be able to release the things within themselves that had been needing to be healed. And a lot of that is the solar plexus chakra. And the solar plexus chakra is a lot of emotional energy. It is a lot of hurt and wounds happening and carrying around the energies of the emotions of the past. And so it is really the need to end the energies of the suffering of the past in order to move forward. And um, and we have, in order to confront what it is that's been happening. And so in this traditional tarot, this would be the energy of the moon. And it would be the energy of fear, is how I read the moon card, is the need to let go of all of the fear that exists, all of the emotions leading you, all of the emotions that were never processed from the past, leading you to be in a state of fear in order to be able to move forward and to be in a greater state of energy within yourself. And so that's another major arcana card, by the way. Okay. And so as you need to let go of the fear, how does that happen? How do things really start to transpose here over the course? And we're probably going beyond now just a year. So I would say that was when I said the energies of a year, we were at a year, and now we are moving beyond that, and we're probably moving into year 3. And so as we get into 2026, we will start to see the energies of sadness and isolation. And so what this is the energies that were needing to be released, right? That we saw in the energies of the death and renewal card, of needing to release the energies of trapped emotions from the past in order to release the fear and be able to move forward. That people will begin to feel those energies. They will begin to face those energies within themselves that had been hidden because they're being unearthed. And the examples of that are the root chakra. And so it is by unearthing those energies of sadness that we then see that people feel that the ones who are not willing to, they wanted to correct me there, the ones that are not willing to face their inner demons, the ones that are not willing to face the emotions and to say, what is this trying to show me? How can I react differently? The ones that are not willing to step into the energies of the divine feminine and what the divine feminine and divine masculine are laying together, what they will find is that their roots are beginning to shake. They will find that the things that they found stable in their lives are no longer there. That if they will not let go of the energies of fear, that they will no longer have the energies of stability. And then we have the Lover's card, and I'm going to read this as the traditional tarot. And that is the energy of a choice. So the Lover's card in the traditional tarot is a choice that, if you choose accurately, will bring a positive outcome, and if not, will likely bring strife. And so it is going to force the collective to look deeper within because of the template that the divine masculine and the divine feminine have already laid here for massive healing. And this is another major arcana card. So the energy of the choice of how to react, and so what happens. And we have the energy of healing, the energy of the Star card, and that is a healing energy around life. That is working to find a greater peace and a greater love in our lives. And I find it interesting. I felt like most of these cards were pretty much entailed, but this one has a few marks on it. And I think it's just the energies of healing and the strife that comes along with that, that it may not be easy, but you can break free of the chains that were binding you and find the healing that you needed in your life. And that was another major arcana card. Okay, and so one more card here. And that is the final card that is ending this section of the reading, which is how do things go when people choose to finally embody the energies of healing after that major choice and being forced to, and that is balance. I love it. And that is the energy of temperance, the energy of finding balance, of finding strength to be able to come into greater alignment with themselves. And this is the same energy of the Just Breathe card that the Divine Feminine was archetyping for the collective, to truly to be able to find balance. And so this is really the energy of what's been going on in the collective for so long and what we're feeling. And if you're sensing the energy movement and the great energies that you've been asked to recognize within yourself and to heal, this is what is going on currently now, and what is going to be going on for the next 3 years as we talk about 2024, 2025, and the end of 2026. All right, so that is the main part of the reading, and it's already getting kind of long. So I'm going to end this particular section here, and there will be a continuation of the other energies that are surrounding this as well. Thank you.